Will the bankers crash the stock market to spite Donald Trump? It's not fun to think about, but it is a possibility. And one way that you can arm yourself, protect yourself in case the stock market does crash, is to invest in precious metals like gold and silver. And not just gold and silver, but there's actually a new one on the block that the prices for it are rising way faster than even gold and silver, and that is palladium. If you would have invested your money in palladium just 3 months ago, you would literally have 50% more money this very day. So in this interview, I'm going to discuss how you can start investing in precious metals, not only to up your financial resources, up the money you have in your pocket, but also to protect yourself in case anything does happen with the stock market in 2019. Take a look. Colin, how's it going, my friend?
Good, good. Thanks, Jordan. Good to be here.
Totally. So first thing I wanted to ask you, since you're the expert in these fields, a lot of volatility in the markets lately,
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the bankers or Wall Street purposefully crashing these markets just to spite the administration?
Well, President Trump has had a bone to pick with the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, which is obviously connected to the banks and how money works. So that's been something that's been on the top of his list. The more interest rates go up, the more expensive it is for companies and people to borrow money. And we're seeing that start to affect the economy. When you look at these big jumps and these pullbacks that we've seen, and we've seen more one-day corrections this year than we've seen, I think, in the past 30 years. The Dow dropped earlier this week 1,500 points in one day. So there is a lot of up and down, and I think what it does is it starts to send a signal to the average American that maybe this isn't as strong. This economy is not as strong as what people believe. Now, there are a lot of good indicators. Unemployment is low. Obviously, jobless rates are down. And, there's indicators out here that are saying the economy is doing okay. But ultimately, the big two financial places where most people have their money is the stock market and their home. Interest rates going up is going to affect home prices. We are seeing home values drop. We are seeing homes sit on the market a lot longer than we've seen in the past. I sent you an article on the economic collapse blog talking about how big parts of the country are just seeing homes sit on the market. So basically, for the majority of people, the two biggest things that they have in their retirement are their home and the stock market. And so we are seeing some indicators now that those two things are having some problems. And so people need to look at their finances and make sure that they are diversified. They have different assets in their holdings.
And how can they best diversify their portfolios?
Well, you have your IRA, you have your 401k, most people have some cash in the bank. And what I say is, to go back with bankers, what it comes down to is control. The great thing about precious metals, you have gold and silver in your hands, or if you have it in your IRA, it's one of the few assets that you're not part of something else. It's not a mutual fund. It's not an ETF. You own it, so you're in control of it. So if you're concerned about keeping money just sitting in a bank account because there's been a lot of bank seizures, there's been a lot of identity theft, and you don't want to have a lot of your net worth in something that's a digit, you can get some gold and silver at home. Gold is very popular. I mean, you can fit $1 million of gold in a shoebox. So that's a good way to get out of the system and make sure that you're protected and have something tangible and liquid in the event that the stock market pulls back or that there is more kind of identity theft out there. Because you and I both know that's happening on a daily basis. The new crime, it's not stealing, computers and stealing TVs out of your house. The new crime is
Cybercrime, yeah.
identity. It's stealing your bank account information and being able to pull that. And it's not easy to get that money back. A lot of people call us and say, 5 years ago I had my identity stolen and I'm still trying to get things figured out. I'm still trying to get some of the money that I lost there. So it is very difficult. So getting something physical like precious metals that you own or hold is a great way to protect yourself from those types of situations. And, right now at the end of the year, people are looking at their accounts and they're saying, you know what, I've been optimistic about the stock market. And maybe with these kind of volatility up and down, maybe I need to diversify. Maybe I need to look into something else. And they can always give us a call and we can help them, learn about precious metals.
Aren't the prices of gold really, really low right now?
Yeah, the price of gold is pretty close to mining cost. And, it's pretty interesting indicator right now. Palladium, one of the 4 precious metals allowed in an IRA, actually went above the price of gold for about 30 minutes in trading earlier this week. So palladium, very sought after industrial metal, went a little bit higher than gold. It pulled back a little bit below gold. But palladium, because they're using palladium in catalytic converters, it's replacing platinum, and it's just become such a desired metal. Most companies are moving away from diesel engines or going to gas-powered engines, and palladium is a big component of that. They're having a hard time finding palladium, and so the charts are unbelievable in terms of profitability this year. If you bought palladium in August to today, it's up about 45% in the last 4 months. So the growth story is there. And the interesting thing is if you look at mining out there, they do think there'll be a shortage in 2020. So a lot of people are buying it now because they see there's going to be a rush, coming up in the future here.
Right. And I saw in terms of gold hit a 5-month high just today, and gold seems to be on the rise as well. So it looks like it doesn't really matter what you invest in, gold or palladium. Looks like it's going to be a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think both metals right now are undervalued. And when you look at why investors, why countries, I mean, this year, if you look at, anyone can call us and we can send you out this information. But if you look at all the central banks buying gold, we had Hungary and Poland buy gold last year. They haven't bought gold in 15 years. Why is Hungary and Poland, why are they buying gold? The reason they're buying gold is they're afraid of the euro. They're afraid of that currency. So they're pulling money out of their own currency and putting it into real money, into real gold and silver. So you see these big institutions that can buy anything, big countries that can buy anything, and they're buying gold because they know it's a safe bet and they want to avoid all this volatility. And sometimes you have to take a duck and cover strategy when it comes to your investments. You can't always be aggressive. So there is a point where you have to pull back and say, is my downside risk higher than my profit potential? And I think that's what people are seeing right now is they're saying, I got to pull some of this risk off the table right now because I see something happening next year. And 2008, 2007, 2006, people remember they had the same false optimism where, you watch the news, it's never, stock market's never going to crash, real estate market's never going to go down. Guess what? Stock market crashed 2008, 40% pullback. Real estate market, in some places, it pulled back even higher than 40%. So those two big assets that everybody holds lost 40-50% of their value in a 6-month period. So people are concerned right now. They're calling us, and we can still get accounts set up for IRAs. We still have time, but we don't have a lot of time this year if people are looking to do it because the last week of the year, things really shut down in the industry. So if anybody's looking to get this started, we need to do it sooner than later if they want to get it done this year.
Awesome. And then sort of a speculative question, how do you see the volatility of the markets being in 2019?
There's no reason that it's going to change. You have the biggest indicator, if you look at fundamentals of the stock market, if you look at the Price-Shiller Index, if anybody looks this up, they'll look at and they'll see that the actual value of the stocks right now should be about half of where they are today. So that's everything above that is just a bullish kind of optimistic market. And so the real true fundamentals, you're looking at the stock market should be around 11 or 12,000. We're sitting about 25,000 right now. So there is all of that just kind of, this bubble out there that's ready to burst. And even 11 or 12,000, if people look at the numbers, once Obama left office in 2008, the markets were sitting at 7 or 8,000. So we're in extraordinary times, sitting at 25,000 in the stock market. Everybody's pocketbooks are heavy. Everyone's feeling great. Everyone's having steak dinners, but that can correct quickly. And unfortunately for, average American, we don't have enough time to get in and get it out. The volatility market, the people that love this $1,000 points up and 1,000 down, the people that love that are the day traders, the hedge fund managers. Those guys can make money off those swings. Everybody else is just bracing themselves and hoping that nothing happens. And I think you just really, right now, you really have to look at your portfolios and make sure that you have different assets in your portfolio.
Assets like gold and palladium.
Gold and palladium. It's never been a better time. I think people need to learn about it. And you've been around, you've seen these things. People forget that all markets are cyclical. And when you see a bull market for 11 years, we're going to be an 11-year bull market. If you look at the charts, you go back 50 years, how many bull markets go past 10, 11 years? Not many at all. So history is on our side of what we're talking about today. We're not pulling this out of thin air. Typically, you're going to see a correction. You're going to see a recession. So, we just say make sure that you've diversified, you look at your assets and make sure that you're protected. And, some people say if the market drops 40%, I can withstand that. It doesn't matter. And some people can't. It depends on your age, depends on your situation, your income, whatever it is. But at least you should be looking at it to see if this is something for you. And that's the thing that we really pride ourselves on, is educating people about what we do. It's not a fund. It's physical metals. You own it. We just help you attain it.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin. And where can people go to call you? What number?
877-646-5347. 24 hours. The phone line is always open, always somebody live. You can leave a message. We'll call you back the next business day. Spend a lot of time with you, educating you, getting you out information, and hopefully, helping you make an educated decision on something for your future.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin. I appreciate your knowledge, appreciate your insight, and we'll have you back on again soon.
All right. Thanks, Jordan. Have a great day.
Thank you.